Find one song, a song about love, glory from the soul.
Hey, this is Adam Pascal, and believe it or not, I can't believe it either, but I'm back in Rent, and I'm having the most wonderful time.
Find the one song before the virus takes hold, glory like a sunset. One song to redeem this empty life.
Stars lined up in a way. Jeffrey Seller, who's one of the producers of Rent, and who remains a friend of mine, we're working on something else. So we've been talking about stuff or whatever, and I was going to be in town during this time, and I said, I jokingly said to him in an email, you know, hey, maybe I'll come and do Rent while I'm there, you know. Yeah, ha ha ha, I tell you, you know. And so he called me a couple of weeks later, and he said, you know, we have a 6-week window where our Mark and Roger are leaving, and 6 weeks later we're bringing in another Mark and Roger. We're going to ask Anthony if he wants to do it. Would you be interested in doing it? And I said, I have no idea. You've got to let me think about it. What an offer. Because, I mean, you know, I wasn't expecting that in a million years. And so all of a sudden, so many different things rush into your head about going back into Rent, you know, into the show. So, but then I immediately called Anthony and said, so what do you think? And he's like, well, are you going to do it? I said, well, I'll do it if you do it. And he said, well, I'll do it if you do it, you know, and so here we are.
When I got asked to do it, when I was told that Adam was considering going back, then I was like, okay, that sounds good to me, because, you know, it would be very weird, I think, to go back by myself. That would be too weird. But the chance to get to do it with him again and be back on the stage again, you know, and doing the movie was amazing, but doing the 10th anniversary concert that we did last year was like the taste of the theater again, and I was like, that felt so good, and so it just made sense. It was a perfect window of time. I was between things. It was all the right time and place, and I get to be home doing something I love, and it was just kind of perfect.
How we gonna pay? How we gonna pay? How we gonna pay? Last year's rent. We like candles.
Obviously, we all were nervous for our own individual reasons, but I have to say that, you know, Anthony and I got really lucky because this cast is great. They're such a solid group of actors and performers. You know, I was a little concerned that I would end up doing the show with a bunch of 19-year-olds. Not that there aren't talented 19-year-olds out there, but you know, you need to have a little life under your belt. You know what I mean? To sort of, in my opinion, bring what you need to bring to this show. So you know, we got really lucky that the cast is a very talented, seasoned group of people. Tamira Gray is fantastic, and she's such a great Mimi, and she's beautiful and talented, and so the flip side is, which is what I was worried about, it could have stunk. They could have been bad. They could, you know, the Mimi could have been terrible. You know, I mean, any of that could have happened. You know, like I said, in any long-running show, the varying levels of quality go up and down because cast members come and go, and you know, sometimes you got a bunch of kick-ass people, and sometimes you got a few kick-ass people and a few kind of weak links. And if you happen to be the audience member who goes when those weak links are on, it affects the experience, you know. And so there's no weak links in this cast. It's a pleasure to perform with them.
Like Thelma and Louise did when they got the blues. One stole into the courtyard with the crazy. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Today for you, tomorrow for me.
I mean, I didn't feel like super nervous. I certainly felt adrenaline, but and I thought we would probably have a nice reception, but the response was unbelievable. And I mean, we literally had like a 2-minute standing ovation when we came out on stage, and that was crazy. And I switched, like, I start the show. We begin on Christmas Eve is my first line, right? And I kind of had to wait, and then I sort of took a breath to say it, and they kept going, and it was like, okay, well, I mean, I'll stay here as long as you want to do that. And it was really, it was overwhelming. And then just throughout the show on Monday night especially, they were just sort of like screaming, like at everything we did. And it was like, it's like, I guess it's like when you walk into a room that's nothing but love, and that's what it was. And sort of you can do no wrong, and that's a very powerful room to walk into.
Who are you to tell me what I know, what to do?
A friend.
But who, Mark, are you? Mark has got his work. They say Mark lives for his work, and Mark's in love with his work. Mark hides in his work.
From what?
From facing your failure, facing your loneliness, facing the fact you live a lie. We really are those friends, you know? I mean, we were, not that we weren't back then, but the only history we had with each other was Rent. And we have a tremendous history with each other that goes well beyond Rent, you know, and many years as friends, experiencing all sorts of things that are un-Rent related, you know, and so we just bring a closer bond, I think, to the show. You know, we love each other as people, and we love performing with each other, and so hopefully that translates on stage.
I think what we have now is sort of, we are happier people and more settled as people, and our lives are kind of much calmer, and we're sort of happier, healthier in every way. And so what we bring is kind of inner peace that then we can just put in, then we can just do the work on stage. Back in the day, there was a lot more turmoil off stage and on stage, in the sense of losing Jonathan and all of the frenzy of becoming the success, and I was losing my mother, and Adam was going through a breakup. I mean, there were like all this, we were all going through so much, and we were in our 20s, and when you're in your 20s, life is a little more dramatic, I think. Now we're just older and wiser, I think, and more sort of at peace. And so we can just enjoy each other's company and the work we do, and just sort of put it out on stage. And that's a pleasure.
Performing the show back then, it wasn't always so much fun. You know what I mean? And so to have done the 10-year anniversary concert, and to get to come to it now, we don't have any of that baggage anymore, and it's so fun. I'm having such a great time, you know?
Oh, it was bananas. It was like absolutely crazy. First of all, like, I still can't even believe that Adam and Anthony are doing the show. Like, when Adam first told me, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You're crazy. We're too old to do that show. He's like, dude, I'm doing it. So is Anthony. I was like, get out of here. There they were, and they were doing it. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, there were a couple moments where I was like, oh, yeah, I missed that. I missed doing that. And then I was like, yeah, but that's tiring. That's really tiring. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have it. I really don't. I mean, that's a hard show to sing, and it's been a while since I sang it, so.
It's weird. It's weird. Very weird. Fucking weird. I'm so mad that I don't know what to do. Fighting with microphones, freezing down to my bones, and to top it all off, I'm with you.
I was freaked out. The way that audience responded, I mean, what was it, like a 3-minute standing ovation before they even said a word? I just started pounding. I don't know, I never get nervous, and I was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? And you know, we didn't really get a chance to gel and find each other, you know, because they have a very different perspective than, you know, maybe me, who's done the show, you know, after the 10th anniversary, you know, many years down the road. So I was kind of nervous about how we were gonna, you know, put the two worlds together, and it just came together so beautifully. And over the past few nights that we've gotten a chance to like settle into it, it is just, I mean, my heart is just bursting over how wonderful this is, because the show has always meant so much to me, and their performances have just spoke to our generation for so long, and I feel like really, really lucky girl today to get the chance to do it with the originators of the show. Is really just like, I feel like I'm coming full circle, because when it first came out, it meant so much to me, and so to see the show again and be on stage and experience it through their eyes, and just to see it through the point of view of somebody who, you know, who created the show, who's been through it with Jonathan Larson, I mean, and just taking it through the years in so many different incarnations. It's taken it to a deeper level for me, and I have a better appreciation, and I'm just thrilled to be here again. I really am.
I've had enough from way back, and breaking the rules was a part of the game. So get off life's too quick. I know some ways
character, Mimi. This is the best. Wow, man, this is the best show that I've been a part of. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I've done some really great things, but the energy of this show and the message of this show is just. It's fantastic, you know, and it's a lesson and a life reminder, I think, that everybody needs to remember, and that's the reason why the show's been going on for so long. Adam and Anthony are fantastic. Like, I mean, they're the nicest guys and they're such superb actors that it's just a really great experience for me to be sharing the stage with them. Interestingly enough, I never really considered it because I never grew up around it. I lived in Maryland and Georgia, and I'd only been to New York once in my childhood. And then when I was 19, I came to New York for a gig with Coca-Cola. And I took in every show, including Rent, every Disney show, everything, for $20 and stood up or sat in the front row and watched everything. And it was that, after watching Aida, I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. But it was never something that growing up as a kid, I was just like, I have to be on Broadway. But now I have to be on Broadway.
525,600 minutes. 525,000 moments, oh dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylight, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, and laughter, in strife.
It won't work, I look before I leap. I love margins and discipline. I'll make lists in my sleep, baby. What's my sin? Never quit. I'll follow through. I hate mess, but I love you. What to do with my impromptu, baby? Should be wise, cause this girl satisfies. You got a prize that don't compromise. You're unlucky, baby.
No days of inspiration, playing hooky, making something out of nothing. The need to express, to communicate, to going against the grain, going insane, going mad. No pension, no pension, to more and one dimension, to serving for attention, hating convention, hating protection, not to mention, of course, hating dear old people and dad.
Honestly, the only ritual I ever did is I stretch a little bit. I warm up and stretch because you have to. I have to do a little more than I used to actually, just to get my body going. And then I like check my camera, and I check my tripod, check my scarf, and there's something about that ritual alone that gets me in the world of it. And my Jonathan ritual is just like at the end of every night, at the end of every curtain call, I send him some claps, and that's my little ritual for him.
So I own not a notion. I escape and ape content. I don't own emotion. I rent. Dying in America at the end of the millennium. We're dying in America to come into our own. And when you're dying in America at the end of the millennium, you're not alone.